Welcome to Middleway News.
Question number 4. Kamala, you said repeatedly that the border was secure. When in your mind did it start becoming a crisis?
More support for the folks who are working around the clock trying to hold it all together.
Madam Vice President.
To ensure that no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election. Because there was a solution, Bret.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I am so sorry for her loss. Sincerely. But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well.
But do you want to answer
in
her?
all fairness, I told you, I feel awful for what she and her family have experienced.
During that time, you said repeatedly that the border was secure. When in your mind did it start becoming a crisis?
I think we've had a broken immigration system transcending, by the way, Donald Trump's administration, even before. Let's all be honest about that. I have no pride in saying that this is a perfect immigration system. I've been clear, I think we all are, that it needs to be fixed. We need more. I was just down at the border talking with border agents, and they will tell you, and I'm sure you probably, I know you investigate and you are a serious journalist, they will tell you, we need more judges. We need to process those cases faster. We need the support for those cases that should be prosecuted. They need more resources, and Congress ultimately is the only place that's going to get fixed, Bret. Well, that's how this system works.
That's the premise of this question.
But
there were
that's how the
90
system
plus
works.
executive orders that were rescinded in the first days. Many of those were Trump border policies. I'm not going to stay here because there's other things to talk about, but you frequently talk to the Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said, you've been, quote, a failure with border security. Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated, and I get it. They want support. They want support, and that's what that border security bill would have done. These guys down at the border, these men and women, they're working hard. They're working around the clock. I get it.
This is such a treacherous response, a compulsive, horrific lie to the American people. I don't care if you're liberal, ultra-conservative, if you hate Trump with everything in you. This is such a tremendous lie, what she's saying. The bill that they're talking about was an amnesty bill, which means it allowed illegal aliens, especially criminals as well, to get free citizenship, a path to our country. The bill that she's pretending that Donald Trump blocked. Meanwhile, Donald Trump was not in power. Meanwhile, Bret showed her that 6 prominent Democrats refused the bill as well. It's a bogus bill. It was drafted by Chuck Schumer. He drafted it with the objective of keeping the current open borders open entirely and in perpetuity. It's a codified catch and release. The bill provided immediate work permits to illegal aliens when they came here. The bill provided taxpayer-funded attorneys to illegal aliens. The bill gave billions of dollars to sanctuary cities. They're aiding with human traffickers. The bill normalized 5,000 illegal immigrants a day. They overruled all of Trump's executive actions. I believe there was above 90 of them. By overruling all of these actions, it opened the border and put our country at risk. She will not accept responsibility for this. She just continues to lie. She wants to make the American people believe this is what she's setting up, that there was a bill that Trump blocked for political reasons because he really didn't care about the country. And if he didn't block that bill, everything would have been good. It's a lie. It's a disgusting, horrific lie. She should be so ashamed of herself. She's not a good person. She's not a good person. All the media's campaign about how Trump is so evil and Trump is this, he's a threat to democracy. She is a threat to democracy. The only reason Kamala did this interview was to look for sound bites to strengthen her base in showing that she's tough and she's gonna come at Trump. Her only strategy in this election is to lie compulsively with the hopes that Americans are too stupid to research anything she says. If they do their research, you will clearly see how much this woman lies maliciously. Maliciously. They say all politicians lie. I'm not saying Trump is honest Abe Lincoln or a saint. He clearly is not. But her lies are tremendously horrific, unfathomably vicious, malicious, to lie to the American people. She said in an interview coming up, I would never call any of the Americans stupid. She's treating Americans like we're stupid. All Americans, conservative Americans, gay Americans, black Americans, Hispanic Americans, transgender Americans. She's treating people like we are totally incompetent and naive. Her only strategy is to blame Trump, not just for his own mistakes and shortcomings. She wants to blame Trump for every stupid, incompetent decision and indecision that she and President Biden has made. Kamala wants to blame Trump. Here is her strategy for every problem, every question. Let's just blame Trump. Let's take a listen.
Donald Trump, if you listen to Donald Trump, he's Donald Trump.
I understand.
And Donald Trump's administration, the Trump campaign, Donald Trump being Donald Trump actually followed Donald Trump, and Donald Trump.
Madam Vice President, two more things.
Let me be very clear. Donald Trump, not to mention
Madam
how
Vice
Donald
President,
Trump.
I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. Madam Vice President, they're rapping me very hard here.
By the way, Donald Trump.
Give me a hard rap.
Well, I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet.
If Americans pay attention, conservative, liberal, wherever you happen to be, and you do any type of analysis, do some Google checks into both candidates, you'd be absolutely surprised. You will see how unfathomably vicious and disrespectful her lies are to the American people. In my opinion, there's nothing worse than when someone pretends to be joyful and hopeful and really for you, and deep down their moves are stabbing you in the back and are really going to hurt you and are only protecting very wealthy elites. At the same time, the most malicious things that they're doing, they blame the opposition for doing. It's unfathomable to me. And I think Americans need to know. Do your own research. Don't trust me, but do the research. Research both of them. Stay tuned for our next video where we go through the rest of the remaining questions and other great things here at Middleway News.
Kamala Harris!
everybody. It's good to be with you this evening. Sean, I want to thank you because you always have a way of convening and bringing folks together. And I grew up a middle-class kid. So I was raised as a middle-class kid.
Thank you for watching the Middle Way News Daily Update.
Thank you for experiencing today's Middle Way News Daily Update. We hope you enjoyed today's top news highlights and summaries. Be sure to check out our other Middle Way News services, products, summaries, updates, videos, podcasts, and more.